And let's straight away go across to my colleague Karishma Sudani now, who's been getting us all those scoop and exclusives from the GST Council and what are the big expectations there. Karishma, hi, good afternoon. The beginning of the GST Council meeting since morning, what are the discussions that have taken place so far? And what we want to understand is whether states are actually coming together with consensus on some rate cuts now.
Good afternoon, Sakshi. Thank you. To begin with, I'd like to definitely address the fact that Andhra Pradesh Finance Minister, before entering the meeting, had shared that most states, in all likelihood, there has been a consensus since their GOM meeting on the fact that they support Centre's proposal on rate rationalization. Now, it's a two-day meeting, and definitely we are expecting there is going to be a smooth transition of approach in these discussions. Sources have hinted that currently discussions are underway on studying the rate rationalization structure, which has to be the key crux of the meeting of 2 days, which will bring down the whole GST regime to just two rates of 5 and 18%, and with a special rate of 40%. Two big challenges definitely which could likely be introduced by today evening discussed in the meeting would be on the revenue deficit that the states will suffer because of this, and if the center has a thought of a method of how they are going to convert that revenue deficit into some kind of bearing. And secondly, state's proposal of putting an additional levy on certain tin goods, which will also be taxed 40%, plus if there could be an additional charge. I think as time passes, we'll be able to pick up more information on what approvals and consensus has come in from the members.
Absolutely, Karishma. Keep an eye out on that. We'll continue to get more updates from you. So thank you so much for keeping one eye out on as to what are the developments coming in from the GST Council meeting. Let's go across to Sharadji, who's been standing by with us. Sharadji, what sectors are you really looking at with respect to GST? That's one of the key questions that's also being asked by our viewer as well, Rahul Sharma from Bhopal, who wants to know which are the sectors that he should be now looking at to benefit from the GST rejig that's going to be coming in now.
Yeah, I think autos, both two-wheelers and four-wheelers, they should be benefiting out of this. If you look at the numbers that have come in even for last month, I think in spite of the fact that the announcement came in on 15th August, I think even prior to that, the earlier expectation that we had, that because of the tax cuts, etc., there could be a rise. So I think that has played out very well. So I think two-wheelers have shown the first round of traction. I think four-wheelers, commercial vehicles across the board, but largely, the passenger vehicle and two-wheeler space should show very good improvement. Consumer durables across the board should show very good improvement. I think the air conditioner companies could be one good place to bet on. Maybe you would have to extend your horizon beyond 3 to 6 months, but that should play out very well. We have seen a decent bit of correction there. So I think across consumer durables and auto, two-wheelers and passenger vehicles, that space looks very good.
Okay, so those are the sectors that look very good. But on the flip side, there's also an expectation of, higher taxes on sin goods and also extreme luxury at that matter. Karishma was just talking about some of the sectors that could attract a 40% and probably an additional surcharge as well. So we'll have to look at what are the final decisions. But so far, what we're given to understand is that tobacco could be taxed heavily as well. Right now with a 28% plus a cess, there could be an uptick to 40%. So I want to understand, what about the tobacco sector that you're looking at? Companies like ITC, which draw their major revenues from cigarettes for that matter, names like Golden Tobacco, Godfrey Phillips. How are you looking at these stocks, especially for ITC? Last 2 years, we've not seen too much of a return coming in for the investors at large. And when there is a GST taxation shift, and that too on a higher end of 40% or so, what could be the impact on such tobacco companies?
Sakshi, the first thing is, that these companies usually have not been impacted by higher tax rates. The consumption is in such a mindset actually that higher tax rates don't really deter consumption. Maybe you don't have, maybe you have a lot of issue in terms of, the unregulated market going up and eating up a bit of your share. But I think in the current scenario, that also leaves you very little risk. And with the type of per capita income rise, etc., and urbanization we are talking about, I don't think there will be a material impact even if the tax rates are higher for cigarette companies. Not on the demand side, but certainly in terms of stock prices, on the sentiment side, there could be some short-term impact on tobacco companies. But long term, I don't think that, demand-wise, there would be any material impact because of higher taxes. And yeah, I think that's it. In terms of ITC, yeah, last 1.5, 2 years, not much has happened. The hotel demerger, etc., all that has happened. But I think, yeah, no, it's a diversified play. I would largely focus on the FMCG improvement that the company can clock in. And the cigarette business, could be the staple diet for them that would carry them forward. Fresh triggers would come in from the FMCG business, the way the company has been expanding. And if on that valuation front you look at, I think ITC probably is the cheapest FMCG stock that you can look at. So there might be some more room for ITC to grow. In case you get this 40% tax and there is some correction of 5 to 10%, that should be a decent place to add on to ITC.
Sure. All right.